For months, these pilots flew food to Berlin through the airlift, saving the citizens from starvation. Many of these soldiers risked their lives. Dozens lost their lives. We shall remember and honor them forever. And I thank the 16 million Americans stationed in Germany throughout the last decades, without whose support as soldiers, diplomats, and generally as facilitators, overcoming the division of Europe would simply not have been possible. And we will also be more than pleased, not only today, but also in the future, to have American soldiers in Germany. You are ambassadors of your country to Germany, just as many Americans with German roots continue to be ambassadors of my country over here in the United States of America. I think of John F. Kennedy, who won the hearts of the Berliners when, during his visit in 1961, after the wall had been built, he reached out to the desperate citizens of Berlin by saying, "Ich bin ein Berliner." I think of Ronald Reagan, who far earlier than most clearly saw the sign of the times, and standing in front of the Brandenburg Gate already in 1987 called out, "Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." This appeal shall remain forever in my heart. I thank George Herbert Walker Bush for the trust he placed in Germany and then Chancellor Merkel, offering something of immeasurable value to us Germans already in May 1989. Partnership in leadership. What a generous offer 40 years after the end of the Second World War. It was actually only last Saturday that we met again in Berlin, incidentally together with Mikhail Gorbachev, and to him too we owe a debt of gratitude. Ladies and gentlemen, to put it in just one sentence, I know, we Germans know how much we owe to you, our American friends. And we shall never, I personally shall never ever forget this. The common quest for freedom released incredible forces all over Europe. The trade union Solidarność in Poland, the reformers around Václav Havel in Czechoslovakia, the first opening of the Iron Curtain in Hungary, and the demonstrations in the DDR every Monday. Where there used to be a dark wall, a door suddenly opened. And we all walk through it, out into the streets, into the churches, across borders. Each and everyone was suddenly given the chance to build something new, to help shape things, to dare a new beginning. I too sought a new beginning. I left my work as a physicist in the Academy of Science in East Berlin behind me and went into politics. Because I was finally able to do something, to make a difference, because I had gained the impression, now things can be changed, now you can do something. Ladies and gentlemen, 20 years have gone by since we were given this incredible gift of freedom. But still, nothing keeps me more enthralled, nothing spurs me on as much, nothing fills me with stronger, positive feelings than the force of freedom. Whoever has been so positively surprised in his or her lifetime holds many things to be possible. Or, to borrow the words of Bill Clinton when he was in Berlin in 1994, and I quote, "Nothing will stop us. All things are possible." Yes, Everything is possible. It is possible for a woman like myself to be here today. It is possible for a man like Arnold Wachs, a dissident in Dresden during GDR times, who spent time in prison because of this, to be present here today, a member of the German Bundestag, the German Parliament, and a member of my delegation. Yes. Yes, everything is possible. Also in our century, the 21st century, the age of globalization. Back home in Germany, just as here in America, many people are afraid of globalization. We don't simply pass over this fact and these fears. We do see the difficulties, and yet it is up to us to convince people that globalization is the great global opportunity for each and every continent, for it forces all of us to work together with others. The alternative to globalization would mean shutting ourselves off against others. But instead of being a viable alternative, this would only lead into isolation and misery. Thinking in terms of alliances, thinking in terms of partnerships, however, this will take us into a good future. Ladies and gentlemen, America and Europe have certainly had their share of disagreements. Some may sometimes consider the others to be too hesitant or too fearful, or from the opposite perspective, too headstrong and too pushy. And yet, I am deeply convinced that Europe will not find a better partner than America, nor will America find a better partner than Europe. For what brings Europeans and Americans together and keeps them together is not only a common history. What brings Europeans and Americans together and keeps them there are not only shared interests and common global challenges which exist among all regions of the world. This alone would not be sufficient to forge this very special partnership between Europe and America and to make it last. There is more to it. What brings Europeans and Americans together and keeps them close is a common basis of shared values. It is a common idea of the individual and its inalienable dignity. It is a common understanding of freedom and responsibility. This is what we stand up for in this unique transatlantic partnership and in this community of shared values that is NATO. Thus, partnership in leadership is filled with life, ladies and gentlemen. It was this basis of values that ended the Cold War, and it is this basis of values that enables us now to stand the test of our times. And we need to stand this test of our time. Germany is united. Europe is united. That is something that we've been able to do. Now, today's generation needs to prove that it is able to meet the challenges of the 21st century. And that, in a sense, we are able to tear down walls of today. What does this mean? Well, it means create freedom and security. It means create prosperity and justice. And it means protecting our planet. And here again, America and Europe are called upon in a very special way to do that bit.